Welcome. How y'all doing tonight? This is another episode of Blunt Talk Nola.
Drop that beat, Chop Track. What's up?
The beat already playing. Is it? I mean, y'all can hear it. Oh, y'all can't? Let me make sure, because I definitely hear it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I hear it. It's there.
Oh, that's me then. My bad. I can't hear.
That motherfucker definitely was on. Is he?
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it definitely was on.
There it is. I can hear you now. My bad. What up, people?
Yeah. What up, people? This is another episode of Blunt Talk Nola. Tonight, we're going to be talking about CPS, man, and you can't trust them bitches with your children, bro, at all. So, I am one of the hosts tonight, Chop Tracks.
Silent Child 17. Go.
Down on the spot.
Yeah, them niggas.
Yeah,
they were saying it at the same time, but yeah. We gonna hurry up and get straight into, in other news, I think P-Dot had some stuff he wanted to show us. In other news.
Yeah, man, I found this from a dude I had been seeing on TikTok as well as Instagram, and I started following from TikTok too. He's a computer hacker, y'all, but he's a good kind of computer hacker. He show you tips and tricks. So for those of us that are not computer savvy like that, he does a lot of research into a lot of shit. So the video I'm about to play for y'all is something we talk about a lot on Blunt Talk Nola, and we try to keep people informed as well as up to date about a lot of these PDO files, if I can say it like that. So this brother just brought some hot information. I got it earlier this week, so this is like a couple of days old, but check it out.
Happened, and I'm so surprised that this is not everywhere. 109 missing children has been rescued. Now imagine for the ones that haven't been found, which is super sad. And this right here is all the PDF files. 244 predators have been arrested. But it gets deeper, right? They are not only finding them offline, it's online through video games. This is why I preach to my supporters to make sure you watch over your children when they're playing these video games. Make fake information about them when they're signing up, even down to the email, and teach them not to give out public information. And also make sure you check who their friends are, or just disable receiving friend requests, period. Technology is only advancing, and so are predators. Share this with your family or friends and parents in general. It sucks that this is happening. So I decided to create a team of ethical hackers to hunt down these people and bring justice.
Like I said, y'all, he's one of the good kind of hackers, and he said ethical. So they have a certain code that they go by, I guess, where they're gonna start using their skills to help track and capture the PDO files that's online. Which y'all think?
I think that's good.
That's a great idea.
They should they should definitely use their skills, But I just don't think he should call himself a hacker, because then they're gonna be trying to figure out what you hacked, like, even though you're gonna be doing something good. I think the government that shiesty, and I think the government play a big part in the whole ring,
and protecting them as well. So there would be something
so,
we
and if
use
they're
against
trying
them
to protect certain
if they're
people,
protecting PDFs. Yep.
Yeah, they definitely will get your ass instead of them.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
man. I second your emotion. I second your motion on that one, child. Like being motherfucking court, man. I mean, is definitely a great idea, but be cautious of how you deliver the information. Even though you are a hacker and you understand more of that side of the cyber world than most people. I think PDFs have hackers too. This is why they find these black market spaces to even get the stuff that they into when it comes to these children. So it's definitely a power move, but also make it a cautious move.
Yeah, y'all. That's all I had for in other news, man. I just wanted to put that up there to let people know that they got people out here um using who's about to start using their skills to help us out. Because like y'all say, they got the government helping some of these PDO files, and some of the PDO files is in government office. So this would definitely be one big step closer to uh
I mean, 'cause you gotta
capturing.
think about it like this: anything that they could do, right, the government should already be able to do, right?
Should be, should be. But remember, they got genius little children out here hacking government mainframes and stuff like that. So I mean,
I'm just
if
saying
they
the
let them little
technology is
kids,
available both ways.
yes, yes, the technology is definitely available both ways and accessible both ways to be used to,
So it really shouldn't take
you know,
citizens to step in and risk their lives to solve some shit. They should be able to do it, but sometimes that's what it takes.
well, yeah. Hell, as much as they talk about using AI for a lot of things, why not ask AI to find out who all the PDO files is and put all the information
They doing
online?
some shit with AI. We got to do another episode on that, but in a different way. I think the way
You
you
know?
had it was just like, no, we got to start showing people the way they using the shit. Like that Timberland shit. We might go talk about that Sunday, like that Timberland shit with the music and all that. And they got
Yeah,
I
now
heard about that.
there's actual AIs that people talk to, and we talked about it on here. The dude was talking to the AI. The AI told him to kill himself, and all these
yeah,
dudes in love with the damn thing and shit. Yeah,
yeah. They starting
shit
to
getting
run a lot
serious.
of those AI ads about relationship or AI girlfriends and
I mean,
companions
It's
and all
dangerous
that
out
shit.
here in
I
these
think her
cyber
name was
streets.
her Silent. Susan's out. She's married to a goddamn carnival ride.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw that. I saw
I
that.
saw
That's
that.
crazy. The tilt
She
the
said she liked
world.
the way it rise. She liked
This
to watch
shit.
him rise. Wow,
like, bitch,
that's what she said.
And, and and
this
you know
world
what's
coming
crazy?
to an impasse.
Like what's crazy is the government allowed that to go through. Like, well, we can't tell you who you can and cannot marry, but it's not a who, it's a what. It's a
Let me
it.
tell
It's
y'all
a
something, and then I'm gonna let Silent go with his in other news. But I know this gonna start a little conversation. Do y'all know how drove the nigga that got to be in charge of the lights on the bridge was for June, bro?
hmm? No, wait,
This
what happened?
nigga had to put pride colors up there, then had to take the pride colors down to put Father's Day colors up there, then had to take the Father's Day colors down to put Juneteenth colors up there.
I thought that was all like controlled by switches.
Somebody got to do it, nigga.
Right, I get it, but I'm saying like ain't it nothing more simple than just clicking the fucking switch for the lights?
Somebody still got to click it. And it's not that simple because, as you can see, it's LED lights. So you can change the color of any light at any point in time. Anyone. You see what I'm saying? But it's probably like a knob or something you turn. Probably can't have them bitches too bright. It's a lot of shit that probably go into it, but that bridge, the light's gonna break soon, is what I'm saying.
Of course, the bitches gonna be flashing like them LED lights that be on the side of people's house, flashing
Yeah.
looking like the house out of the haunted.
Now, and then I think like when it rain bad, they put them all red. Like, it's just some shit they do a lot of changing, but I just hate that they piled all that shit in June, and it's men's mental health month. Like, how the fuck is all that
Why?
shit in June? What you mean why?
No, not in the sense of meaning why, but why would you put all of that in a month that's
I think you gotta put the mental health
dedicated
thing
to?
in June with the gay shit, because that is a mental disorder.
Okay, so why not give that its
That's
own
a good
separate
point.
month? You see what I'm saying?
Because
You lump
it's
it in
meant
with
to be
Father's Day.
together. But if you think about our holidays, P. Dot, why would you mix Christmas with Jesus, knowing that it's a pagan holiday?
Hey, people do people, and they
Don't say no.
celebrate it.
Hey, just answer the
They
question. Why would
celebrate.
they do that? If you're asking about that, okay. So
Yeah.
this is what they do. They do this all the time. Pete, this is my point. They do this all the time, brother. It shouldn't even be a question. Like you said, you wasn't really questioning why, but it's like, why are y'all doing that? It's because they're doing it on purpose to
Of course.
collaborate all this
Fuck
confusion
shit.
at one time.
Because they
So
gotta still
everybody
tell you
could
the truth
agree
at the
with
end
it.
of the day. Still gotta tell you the truth. They can't keep lying to you because we live in this world where all the information is free. They can't keep lying to you. They gotta tell you the truth too. And that's what they doing. That's some truthful shit.
Same thing with Easter, brother. Same thing with Easter.
You're gonna tell me a bunny lays eggs
But then tell me Jesus rose in the
3 days
same.
later.
So yeah, hey, man. This is I ain't get nobody beliefs or religion. I'm just saying this is a pattern of them, people. So I'm not surprised that all this is happening in this one month.
Mm-hmm.
Like I got a update for y'all, fellas. Got an update. You know what I'm saying? Especially from last week, dealing with some murders that happened to some politicians, fellas. I don't think the news is giving this enough attention, to be honest with you. But it definitely went down. He ran up in the people's house. I talked about it last week, but I'm gonna revamp on some of the stuff when I play the video because they're gonna keep us updated on what's going on with it, and they're gonna re-talk about some of the stuff that actually happened. But this guy has been well, he gave himself up and he finally went to see a judge, and a lot of stuff has came forth on this situation. So I want my brother to check this out, and the audience, if y'all wasn't here last week, this is going to be a quick update for y'all. So y'all just kind of pay attention to what's going on, y'all, and they're gonna have like little Where's Waldo type little spots and spigots of stuff that happens in this situation of how this man actually got away with this shit at first. So y'all check this shit out. Here we go.
Gets excited. I want to dance. A stunning video of the accused assassin dancing. 57-year-old Lance Belter is preaching at a church in the Congo, a rousing sermon that couldn't be farther removed from the hatred police say fueled his shocking murder spree. This video has also surfaced of Belter claiming to work with law enforcement with a specialty in removing bodies from crime scenes.
We're working with a lot of police officers and death investigators at the location where a decedent is found. Could be a crime scene or just a natural death.
Belter is charged with the murder of State Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark, and the attempted murder of State Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. We're learning chilling new details of these shootings. The attempt to assassinate the Hoffmans was caught on home security video. A federal prosecutor said that video was the stuff of nightmares. He said the suspect pretended to be a cop and banged on the door, shining a flashlight on them. The senator opened the front door and quickly realized this was no cop.
When Senator Hoffman attempted to push Belter out and stop him from entering his home, Belter shot him repeatedly. Belter then shot Miss Hoffman repeatedly. Belter fled the scene, and the Hoffman's daughter called 911.
Their 28-year-old daughter's life was saved by her heroic mom, who shielded her with her body. An hour later, cops almost captured Belter as he was about to murder the Hortmans.
When Belter saw the officers get out of the car, he drew his weapon and began firing. He rushed into the house through the front door, and when he entered, he murdered Representative Hortman and her husband, Mark.
The shooter is still in the house. They believe barricaded with the firearm.
Before escaping, he shot and wounded the Hortman's dog, Gilbert, who had to be euthanized. Police say this image shows Belter dressed as a police officer and wearing a hyper-realistic latex Halloween mask. Here's what the mask looks like in the light of day when we tried it on. Cops recovered weapons and a hit list from Belter's SUV and a notebook listing websites and search engines he used to research his victims. After the murders, the FBI says Belter texted his family, warning them, "Dad went to war last night. There's going to be some people coming to the house armed and trigger happy, and I don't want you guys around." And this is the moment Belter surrendered to cops late last night after an hour-long siege near his home in rural Minnesota.
Damn shame what they did to that dog.
That was a damn shame, bro. He did what they
Damn shame what they did to that dog.
I had to do it, fellas. I had to do it. The nigga shot the dog, yo. What the fuck? This nigga was on a mission.
That bad.
Now, did y'all see anything familiar about his did y'all see anything familiar that we talked about as far as his costume that he used to go in these people's house? Let's talk about it right quick.
Like, dude, nah, this is the thing that draws question for me. How do we know that it was him who actually perpetrated the crime, or somebody that put the mask on and pretended to be him to set him up so he could take the fall for the crime? Right? Nah, that's not to say he didn't do it, because motherfucker did have evidence to support, and him talking, on a video about how to remove dead bodies from the scene, working with law enforcement and stuff like that. So, that mask is a very damning thing, and I'm almost to the point of saying this on some governmental cover-up shit. Like, they got a whole bunch of that going on. We saw the lady who worked for the CIA say she sat in front of George Bush with one on, and this nigga ain't know who she was. Thought she was a black lady.
What you say, Chap? You kind of caught up on it. I'm gonna play some more of it just to soothe P Dot's questioning about if that was really him. I'm gonna play another one, but I just want your take on that.
I just believe I feel like they shouldn't sell that shit to the public. Like, it's too easy for people to get that shit, and you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just crazy for that shit to be the way it is. Like, that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense for that shit to be that accessible and people could get it like that.
Believe it or not, you could literally make that shit at home yourself, though. That's the thing. You just have to know the right components, and you don't have to buy the mask. You can make one of your own.
Facts.
So I think buying the ingredients should automatically set off alarm bells when you go to the store, especially if you don't work for like a special effects company, which all that shit would be provided. You know what I'm saying? All that's provided. But if you a motherfucker that's just doing this shit at home and you making masks out this shit, yeah, that should definitely set off alarm bells. That's all.
Well, actually, it did set off alarm bells, but like you mentioned earlier, we did talk about these masses on different occasions. So we also know people are selling them online. So it's not like You have to make one.
Yeah, you ain't got to make this shit. You could just get one.
You don't have
You want to
to
look like
really, you know what I'm saying?
fucking P Dot on the spot? Got a mask for you.
Yeah. Yeah, give me about 3 weeks. They'll get your picture and make you a mask. So, like you were saying earlier, could this possibly be somebody else, right? So let's dig into some more information that might help you along with what's really going on. But you gotta pay attention, Pete. Don't just bring up a question. Just listen to what they tell you and then ask your question while you're listening to it. Maybe it'll answer your question before you ask it. Here we go.
Today, the man accused of shooting at 2 lawmakers and their spouses faced a federal judge as new charges give chilling new details about what happened before and between the shootings and the massive manhunt that followed. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Julie Nelson. Today, federal prosecutors added 6 new charges for Vance Belter on top of state murder and attempted murder charges, accused of killing Representative Melissa Hortman and her husband Mark and wounding Senator John Hoffman and his wife Yvette. Those new charges include allegations that he stopped at 2 more lawmakers' homes in between. Jennifer Hoff went through all the details today and joins us with more.
As you know, just an incredible amount of information coming out today. The U.S. Attorney for Minnesota calling political assassinations like this rare. But now those new documents show Belter is accused of going to not just 2 lawmakers' homes, but at least 4, and how he was deterred from more mayhem.
Good morning.
At today's news conference, the U.S. Attorney for Minnesota calling the crimes Vance Belter accused of
Truly chilling.
After authorities arrested the 57-year-old last night in a rural cornfield southwest of the cities.
It is no exaggeration to say that his crimes are the stuff of nightmares.
New federal documents detailing his plan to stalk and kill Democratic lawmakers, 45 of whom were named in notebooks officers recovered from Belter's SUV. That also show guns, ammunition, and a medical kit. Plus the silicone mask the documents say Belter discarded after wearing it when he first showed up at Senator John Hoffman's Champlin house Saturday morning, shouting, "This is the police," then shooting the senator and his wife 17 times after they opened the door, realizing he wasn't an officer. The 2 in the hospital are expected to survive. Then pictures show Belter stopping at another lawmaker's house in Maple Grove who wasn't home, going next to New Hope, where he was spooked by a cop doing a proactive welfare check before heading to former Speaker Melissa Hortman's Brooklyn Park house. Law enforcement, aware of that first shooting, arrived to see Belter there, firing shots and going inside. Officers following, forcing Belter to run away, discovering Hortman and her husband dead.
He essentially took his vehicle away from him, which involved all his maps, all his names, all his weaponry. I would be very scared what it would look like over the next few hours had we not done that.
Police eventually tracking down Belter's wife, pulling her over with her children, finding $10,000 in cash, guns, and passports in the car, releasing the text he sent her, writing first, "Dad went to war last night," followed by, "Words are not going to explain how sorry I am for this situation."
And the U.S. Attorney would not comment on the whereabouts of Belter's wife tonight. We do know she was let go, though, after that traffic stop. And again, just more information coming out in this case. We also learned that Belter bought an e-bike. Then he bought a Buick for a couple grand from a complete stranger, Julie. That's how he used then to go 45 miles from here to his home closer in Green Isle.
Yeah, I mean, it's just jaw-dropping, every detail that comes out. It is interesting to have that second text added that he exchanged with his wife, though, basically saying, "I'm so sorry," and you're for his actions, which appears to be the same kind of sentiment he had with the man who says he was his roommate in North Minneapolis. Still, I mean, even in all of those new details revealed today, still a lot of questions remain, and I know we'll continue following it.
Well, and to that point, we also know in the Buick that there was a letter written by a person who claimed to be Belter, saying that he was the one that committed these crimes.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of answers, but also still many questions.
Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer.
What y'all say, fellas?
Why did the wife have? I get that you don't.
He go wide.
No. I get that he didn't want his wife involved in anything. Right, and you apologize because you didn't want the shit to look bad on them or turn bad on them or whatever the case may be. Well, if she had nothing to fear, knowing that she did not encourage this in any way, that she was not participating in this in any way, why were you riding around with $10,000 and guns and shit in a fucking car like you was trying to go flee and use the money to help him evade justice? You see what I'm saying? I get it.
No,
Yeah,
I
that's
get it.
exactly what it
You
sounds like.
wasn't tired. Yeah, but so for me, she wouldn't have been going no motherfucking way. Nah, bitch, why you ride around with $10,000 cash in the car and you got guns? You see what I'm saying? Like
Accomplish, you saying?
that shit just yeah, you sound like she looked like I'm not gonna even say she looked like she could have been an accomplice. You see what I'm saying? And
I
just so happened shit went
think
south before
if you
you know
if I send
Shot
a
him
message
17 times and the dog.
if I send a message to my wife and tell her that I'm about to go to war and she know basically like I'm about to in her head thinking she got to protect herself and the child. So get the gun. I don't think that's a crime.
breaking
Chop, you're
up, chop.
breaking up, Chop.
Uh, I am breaking up. Hold up. Let's see. I'm still breaking up.
Nah,
You
you
good? You
good.
good?
Yeah. I don't think the 10 bands is that much of money like that. I don't know. I mean, to me, it's just something. They had passports too, or whatever. They probably thought the government would probably try to do them something because that'd be the only people that could really go after them if something happened. Somebody in the government or a
Good point.
politician, they have extra pull, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
fleeing with my child and some guns and some money, I feel like I would definitely do that because I don't trust the government.
And at this time, the people was already on his ass about him actually being a suspect because of the cameras and shit too.
Mm-hmm.
So they already
Right,
had
and why they gotta play
just
nice
throwing that
with
into
her?
P-Dot, like they already
You
had
know
it.
what I'm saying? They don't have to play nice
And
with
that's
her. They could
another
have
thing.
killed
Yeah,
her. They
that's
could have
true.
killed her ass. They
That's
could have
true.
said we could hold up till we get him. Like they been knew where
That's
she was
true.
at. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying she wasn't
Mm-hmm.
an accomplice or none of that. I'm just saying when I heard it, it's like shit. Yeah, take that money in the passports, get the fuck before they Manchurian candidate your ass.
And this is ongoing too, fellas. So this is not the end all to end all neither. This is not even all the details. This is not even half of the details. This is what they done
Right.
found out so far. And to say that they found all this out so far, they've been obviously on checking the cell phone records. We just talked about on your thing with the hackers and stuff. The FBI them
Uh-huh.
also have people that's in IT that does this type of
Uh-huh.
stuff all day. They check cell phone records. They do all that. So when you mentioned about it possibly not being him, this is what they're using to connect to him.
The guy. Right.
His own. Okay, so that's what I was speaking on from that situation. But man, I mean, I showed y'all in the beginning. This dude was way in at an African, an African Christian church, preaching and speaking, and these two people that he killed and the people that was on the list, y'all. I don't even know all the names. I don't think they released all the names yet, but he was already on the mission. And I found out that the two people that he killed were Democrats. Now I don't know if that means anything, but I just wanted to let y'all know that too, though. So.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
What is this
So that
all
was the
about? He
act.
had a
It definitely
manifesto.
was the act of war.
He had a manifesto and he had a list. And Pete, remember when you were saying about the police car? It was not a police car. It was his own vehicle.
Yeah, it
Mm-hmm.
was.
He ran
Yeah, it
straight in the
was.
house. It was his vehicle. That's why I was telling you. It probably looked like a police car because we talked about this last week. Or
Right.
the people, matter of fact, the people ain't even get a chance to see what kind of car it was. Because remember, they say he jumped straight out that motherfucker and went straight to the dope. Dope, police. You saw the bullet holes in the dope. He just waited for them to say, "Who is it?" and he started busting.
All right.
So, man, this is ongoing though, fellas. I just want to, give y'all a quick update on that one. That's my other news. Shit crazy out here, man.
Man, that was a hell of an update, bro. I'm glad you brought that up again.
There's
That's the
more to
only
come
one you
too, fellas.
had.
So I'm gonna definitely keep up with it. Yeah, that was my other news.
I'm about to drop this one and then go straight into the top.
Digging a pool uncovers a hidden bomb shelter with people inside.
The Miller family in Dayton began digging for a pool, but found a sealed Cold War bomb shelter from the 1950s.
We opened the hatch, and there were people down there, pale, staring like they'd never seen daylight.
Inside, a family of 6, spanning 3 generations, has lived underground for decades, believing the world above was unsafe.
My parents locked us in during the Cuban Missile Crisis. We didn't know it was over.
Surviving on preserved food and rainwater, they maintained a strict routine, unaware of the modern world.
We're working with social services to help them adjust. They're in shock. But healthy.
Emerging into 2025, the family is stunned by simple things like bright sunlight and fresh fruit.
They tried an apple and cried. They said it's the first fresh food they've ever tasted.
From a pool dream to a hidden past, this backyard unearthed a family frozen in time.
Digging a pool uncovers a hidden...
Dang. That's crazy shit. What y'all think about that, man? They've been living underground since the 1950s, man.
I seen a movie, something like that. If y'all ever seen Bubble Boy?
Yeah.
No.
This reminds me of Bubble Boy. Bubble Boy was a movie about something like this, P. They thought I think it's like the end of the world or something was gonna happen or something like that. But the mom was trying to keep the boy from germs and all kind of shit basically that was gonna happen. So they lived underground for as long could take. And he got tired of it, and you know how it go. And he wanted to go up, want to grow
above ground.
He wanted to get from
Above
underground.
ground.
He wanted to go, he wanted to go see what was going on and, all type of stuff. But I've heard of stuff like this, and it's surprising that it's still happening to this day, man. So that raises a question for me. I'm on some P-Dot shit. What or who or how does this still exist? And are there others that are still living like this because they don't know that whatever they were going through to get safety is over, and they're still living in those same conditions? That is amazing. I'm gonna use that word. That is amazing, bro. And how many people it was, Chuck?
6
Was
generations.
it a family?
6 generations. It was having children and everything. It was regularly living.
Yeah. Sheesh.
You can see they ain't never had a fresh apple. All this shit been preserved. They don't know what fresh shit tastes like. They've been in the killer part. The shit they was eating was preserved in the 50s. They've been in there for 50 years plus. We going on what, 50, 20, 25? That's 75 years. That's 75 years, son. It was underground eating preserved shit. It was able to have that shit that long. That's crazy.
That is amazing. And them people should be compensated too.
I'm going to say this. When you think back toward the time of the Cuban Missile Crisis, Cuba is not that far from the U.S. And the reason people were so hung up on preparedness and having these underground bunkers and shit ready to roll was because of the propaganda machine, right? Propaganda, paranoia, and fear was one of the leading things that worked and caused people to do things that they normally would have. I'm not saying don't have common sense, but fear overrode all of that. Like it just took hold of them people, and by them knowing how close Cuba is, and that Cuba was allied with Russia at that time, it was like if Cuba strike first, the U.S. can't do nothing. You have no prepared time to uh try to shoot down them missiles or whatever, because fuck, they right there, right? So them people probably was like, nah, we not gonna take a chance. We just gonna go ahead, go underground, and we gonna stay there until the shit is over with. Not knowing nothing ever came about from it. They probably didn't have a radio down there, like one of them CB radios or a regular radio broadcasting to let them know, hey, the Cuban Missile Crisis got averted. They struck a deal. They, don't know. So they've been
Yeah,
like
I
y'all
got
say, been
questions.
down there living, having kids and everything, and now their whole world is gone. Listen, their whole world is gone. Because think about it. If you've been down there, and I think the Cuban Missile Crisis happened in like 60, 62, 61, 62, something like that. Right, like right before, the assassination of Dr. King and Malcolm X and them. I think the Cuban Missile Crisis was like right before that in the early 60s. So by the numbers, yeah, like 55, 60 years, like Chop was saying. So think about how long them people been down there with no communication with the outside world,
75 years.
living and not knowing nothing is going on. So their world is gone. The world they knew is no more. These people will not be able to function in modern day society without having some type of constant fear, which they're gonna be living in constant fear now. Because think about it, what they talking about now? World War III with the US being involved in the Palestinian Iran thing, right? So these folks like I said, their world is no more. But now they coming out into something that's probably 10 times worse than what the fuck they was going through with the Cuban Missile Crisis. These people is never gonna be right.
It reminded me of something else too that came on. It's called Fallout.
Yes, I think I
These
seen
people,
that.
you saw that one? Okay, now
I think
they
I
was
saw
doing the
that.
same thing. They was doing the same thing, but these people was tricking these people into believing that the stuff was still going on. So these people went, just like Chop said, generations and generations. They were having families and having kids in these bunkers that were underground, and they had this big fallout, supposedly apocalypse with everything, which they did, but the shit had been over, but they never told these people. So they've been living like that just off of GP, just because of control and what was going on in that area. So that's what I want to know too. Who was in control of the situation with them being down there so damn long that everybody agreed with staying down there that damn long without even questioning it? Somebody in that generation or any generation that was either born then or born after had to say something for them to even realize that we down here for nothing.
Not
Somebody had to be curious. Somebody had to say
right.
something for
Somebody
people
had
to
to be.
even realize that they was even down there, because we would have never knew they were down there if everybody just kept going along with that same ideology, what they believed in. Because sometimes we don't think about how narcissistic people is when they get control in their hands too. So if the Cuban thing is over, then I have no more control like I had down there underground. See, I can't be
Right.
the mayor and the president down there. I can't be the father down there. Who knows what kind of activity was going on down there too, y'all. So this is a interesting story. I might say, it's very
And one
interesting to see, because they didn't give too much details because it's so sad that this is actually happening. But there's a lot of stuff that needs to be, questioned in that situation.
I don't know if y'all remember when the Chernobyl nuclear reactor over there in Russia had a cataclysmic meltdown and the shit blew up. right? And that whole area went under nuclear fallout. Now, this happened, if I'm not mistaken, this happened in the early 80s. You, if y'all remember back when we were children, and I'm talking about me and you, Silent, because Chop probably a little too young to remember this. But remember, they used to tell us nuclear fallout lasted 50 years, right?
Yeah, speaking
So,
on the radiation and all that, what the
yeah,
scientists say, yeah, I know what
the,
you're talking about. I know what you're talking
they
about.
say they say 50 years. But Chernobyl happened in the 80s. These people walking through there with no suits on, no radiation detection devices. Like they know certain spot like that. They're not going to the hot spots of where the fallout happened at. But they definitely in that area and they starting to find a lot of weird shit. But the fact of the matter remains is this. Even like Chop said, they've been down there 75 years. Y'all 25 years past y'all timeline to come the fuck up out of there and see what's happening. You see what I'm saying? Like
That's
after the
yeah, that's
first
why I
after the
question what I
first
question.
35
Who
years,
was keeping
somebody
them
should have
down
been
there?
trying
That's why I
to
Listen,
question it.
but
Yep,
I think it,
yep. That's why I
but
questioned it, though.
the main thing
Crazy.
about it that it does for me is says that we don't need as much as we say we need.
That's right.
Right? Like it's no
So,
way
as the
possible. Now,
government say we need.
I don't agree. I do not agree
They
with being
lying there.
underground that long and not getting no sunlight. I don't. But them motherfuckers, they got 6 generations under that motherfucker.
Say
Like
they
that's
made it happen.
crazy.
That's how they made it
They
happen.
made it happen, son. And it's crazy because they thought it was like they didn't. So what happened to the land? Like they tried to uncover a pool and found that shit.
yeah,
Like
they were trying to build a
so,
pool,
y'all
and
took
that's how they
somebody
found an
land, basically.
underground bunker.
So y'all took somebody land, basically.
Fuck,
The
they
people
wasn't
probably
there.
was scared as a motherfucker. I know, right? The people were scared as a
Fuck.
motherfucker. Chop. The people were like, "Oh Lord, it finally came." Somebody
They
say,
gonna have a
"Hello."
movie about that. The movie
What
coming
the
out
hell?
soon. Watch the movie
Yeah,
coming out.
you know it's gonna be a movie
Hey,
about that shit, man.
man, they got people down here.
Yeah, man. Fuck. Bring me the big
We've been
gun.
down here since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Man, ain't no fucking
Dang.
missile crisis happened. That shit got
I
averted.
want,
Kennedy made sure
I
that
want to
shit
see a,
didn't happen.
I want to see a picture of some of these people. Do you think it deformed them in any kind of way, child, from being down
They
there like
said they
that?
was
Because I
Hell
don't
yeah.
remember seeing no
They said it was
pictures.
pale. They didn't show the pictures, but they said it was pale. They just said it
Right.
was
Man, them
pale.
people,
What about their
well,
eyes and their ears and all that shit? Because the children, I don't know, bro. I'm just guessing. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Like,
No, you're right.
would
Because
they
I
look
said the same
weird?
thing. They should show us pictures of this shit. I
Yeah,
got
bro.
that.
That's
I
an
got
interesting
probably
look.
they're probably not gonna want to show them people pictures like
Oh,
that, bro.
I'm
Cause
gonna
think
find some.
about it.
I bet
That
y'all find it.
They gonna have to eventually. Y'all done
I'm gonna
they
already
find
told a
eventually
story. Y'all can't leave people on a cliffhanger like that. Nah, people got questions now. A
they gonna
pool,
show them
nigga. I
people
found a
probably looking
whole
like fucking
generation of
mutants.
families. That's what
The people
I don't
probably
want
look
to
like
say it, but I'm glad you did. God damn. Shit.
somebody gotta
A
see it. God be
toxic
the nigga to
Avenger
see it.
looking at.
People
Shit.
probably out there been looking like whole mutants. God forgive me. I'm sorry.
you good. I knew mine was gonna take a little minute, but yeah, I'm done with the other news. We're going straight to the segment. This is why CPS can't be trusted. This is the video that I seen. I was actually late. I was supposed to turn my stuff in earlier, but I slept and I was late or whatever. But then I got on the Blunt Talk Nola page and I just went to scrolling for something that I could talk about, as my topic. So boom, first fucking thing popped up was this shit right here or whatever. So I sent to the group. We talked about it, and yeah, we made this the episode or whatever. It happened like that. But just seeing, I mean, it's a lot of conversations around this conversation.
Yeah, because it's good to revisit too, because we definitely got on it. I don't know if YouTube erased that episode because we didn't save. I don't think we saved it, but Yeah, you definitely on the market with this one. It has to be brought back up, Jack.
Yeah, they gotta. I mean, because now we talking, we already got the big debate about the abortion thing, right? And part of the problem is, I mean, I think y'all knew one time they had a chick. She had like 6 children. She gave them all up to CPS or whatever, and she was happy about it and said, "Yeah, fuck, I can't take care of them children." And but we have also seen videos on this podcast alone about young girls going into prostitution early because there is no guidance or no other type of situation going on or whatever. They putting these children in hotel rooms, and then after putting them in hotel rooms, they getting into shit. They need money. They hungry.
13 and good.
Like, yeah, they gotta do something better with that shit. Like, that don't make no sense. I don't understand why they don't have it more organized than this, but a lot of the pedos go through CPS to get the prey type shit because
like Walmart.
There's no fraud of that. There is no resistance from them taking the child or that type of shit. So we're gonna talk about it. Fuck, we're gonna talk about it there, right? We're gonna go down the lane of it. We about to start this video, then I got 2 more. And that's it. Oh Lord, I ain't clicking.
8-year-old girl in foster care to become a prostitute.
Yeah, Jonathan. Now, earlier this year, a federal judge scorned Child Protective Services for making kids available for prostitution in the CPS system. Now we have a case where an employee with that state agency is actually encouraging prostitution of a 14-year-old child.
Daughter told me that the worker had been telling her that she should do these things. So if the parent, was to do something like this to my child, I would be bashed. I would be called a horrible parent. I would lose my kids.
I want to live with some live your feet. That's how my mama taught me. You're going to be a real
Wow.
But I'm just old now, so I'm days gone. I got a child.
She said, I'll be out there with you.
That got that employee fired. Well, today CPS paid a visit to Basley's 25-year-old daughter's house, saying they got an anonymous tip that she was doing drugs and living in a car with her 3 small kids, a claim her attorney says is totally baseless.
I feel like CPS know they messed up, and now they're trying to attack my kid now.
We'll pause it right there. Let y'all make y'all comments.
So first and
Sound
foremost,
like she wanted to go sell pussy too. She said, "I'm just too old though." Did you work for CP? Go ahead, Chop. I'm gonna say P. Go ahead.
So first and foremost, we all know how CPS is, right? And if you don't know, like they said, they got an anonymous tip that she was living in her car, but you pulled up to her house. How you pull up to her house when the allegation is that I'm living in a car? So that was strike number 1 right there. Right? And leave notes on the door that you've been there. Right? So that's strike number 1. Then
not the car,
they
though,
always
the house do.
See, I guess they don't really think people, which in most cases people don't know their rights. If someone makes a claim or allegation against you, CPS, as well as any other agency that gets these claims or allegations, must go before a judge, bring what they have as information to the judge. The judge decides whether to bring this to trial or not. And the judge also has the right to enforce that the children be removed. Only after it's been brought to trial and you have been found guilty of whatever the charges are. So the first and foremost thing that a lot of people need to know about this with CPS is when they come with that shit, talking about, oh yeah, we got an anonymous complaint. You can't have an anonymous nothing because I have to have the right to face my accuser in court. So you can't come with that. and that's a part of your rights.
They
If
do
you
that.
don't know that,
See, they do that a lot. I didn't heard people get people put off government assistance like that, and just by calling down there and making the report. So I mean, I see what you're saying, but I've seen it go the other way too.
nah, the thing about that is this being done out of vindictiveness?
It
Or
don't matter what
do
is
you
being
have
done. Or you talking
no,
about
no, no,
the
no.
police, or you talking about the people that's reporting?
The people that's reporting, because a lot of times people just be reporting shit and don't have the real facts. You only know
Right,
what you
but
see. You don't
I
know what
understand
the
that.
inner workings of another
Right,
motherfucking
but
house is.
them reporting period will get you investigated, right?
It will. But
Oh, all right,
again, now here's the thing.
that's my point.
It only the investigation can only go as far as you, the person who is being investigated, will let it go. I don't have to answer shit to nobody. You see what I'm saying? That's your job to find that out. I ain't got to furnish you with no information on me, my children, or otherwise.
Right,
You
but
see what I'm saying?
if they come to check, you gotta let them in, right?
No,
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. If you know your rights, you do not have to answer to them people. They gotta get a judge gotta sign off on a warrant for them to come. And I'm gonna tell you from personal experience, them bitches got an in-house lawyer that'll sit there, take paperwork, and sign it like he a fucking judge, and he ain't no judge. They'll just put a squiggly line on that bitch and say, "Judge signed it." Now, the thing is, any judge that signed anything with regards to a warrant gonna have a raised stamp and seal on the paperwork. Not no photocopied shit. It's gonna have you could feel the ridge. You supposed to feel the ridges in the paper. That's when it's official. Other than that, you ain't got to answer shit to them fucking people. Take me to court. And the judge is not gonna just go off of what CP. Some judges do. I'm not gonna say that. But when they get to court and you come with your evidence and they come with whatever the fuck they say is evidence, and the judge see that that's some bullshit, he gonna let that shit go. Like,
But
yo,
what if
leave
the
them
judge
people
don't
alone.
see his bullshit? You only speaking from the side of it of the
If
people
the judge now
getting
listen,
that somebody
that's when
lying on somebody or something like that. I'm not
The
but
speaking
judge
that
on
can
but that's what
make it seem like
that's
though. They could make it seem
right.
like and still get
Right. I'm
It
talking
could
about that. That's the part I was about to answer
go
to.
ahead.
That's when the real fight begins. Cause now you got an uphill battle to fight. Cause now you fight not just CPS and the allegations that may be false. You got to fight the judge too to get them to see that this is some bullshit. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Now, that's
But what
not
if
to
it's
say
really
that
have
not
they
to.
no
ain't.
bullshit? But what if it's really
Nah, nah,
not bullshit?
look, now look,
Then you
that's
gotta go down.
different. That's different. You really got to go through the motion.
Because people that's abusing their child, do they know they abusing their child? Do they really think they're abusing them?
No,
Not most of the time. No, unless somebody
no.
report it or unless something is
Unless it
significant
start
happen. A
being
lot of them motherfuckers be online too, and they send them the shit that they post when they do
yeah.
it. You know, a lot of them like to be online and shit and showing you the abuse of their children. They don't think it's abuse. They just trying to get money from all people from offline, but they be showing you how they do that certain type of shit. People sends that type of shit to CPS. So them people gonna see it a certain way, even though there are fucked up people that works for CPS and what the other one is
Department of Child
child
Social
family
Services.
NCFP. You know what I'm talking about, the other
D,
motherfucker. The
D,
same
CFL.
Department
the same
DC,
motherfuckers. Y'all
DC,
know what I'm talking about. DCSF.
Yeah.
Thank you,
yeah.
thank you. So it's a topple type thing, fellas. It's a topple type thing, and whatever falls more heavy on that side, that's the way the fuck it's going. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
So since you appeared on TV a week ago Friday, they've moved her 3 different times
this week, and all of a sudden,
Wait, what?
placements break down.
Retaliation doesn't stop there. On Thursday, Basley says her oldest daughter, who's 25 and has 3 small kids, found this taped to her door.
They had an anonymous tip, anonymous caller called saying that she was on drugs, that she was living in her car with her kids.
The fact that all this has happened just in 1 week, that had not happened in any way like this before, is suspicious.
This prepared statement. DFPS is prohibited by state law from commenting on specific investigations. However, we deny in the strongest terms any claim that we retaliated.
It's an employee with child protection.
Of course they gonna deny it.
So what they're not saying in the news thing is the lady was fired and she drove her ass all the way out there to apologize to the girl for saying that shit to her. They're not saying that. My thing is,
you should have been saying that to a 14-year-old in the first place. You should have been saying that to a 14-year-old in the first place.
Nah, they ain't say that neither. They ain't say that neither, dog.
Because she did tell that girl, because baby, look, because if
I didn't know.
I wasn't so old, I'd be out here too. Bitch, I heard you. You gonna tell that girl that?
Other videos went until I seen that video, so I had the other two just on tuck, just in case they spoke about it differently. But yeah, that's the same.
And
video.
they didn't. And they did.
The other one is, let's see.
And what's so sad about the whole
situation get on her right quick.
Go ahead.
Can I get on her right quick? Let me get on her fucking ass. You bitch, you speaking as an old whore. And you're telling this to this girl who is being forced into a life that she doesn't want to be a part of. And you're convincing her that you should be doing this at a higher level. You should be taking advantage of your young body to go out there and sell it at a higher level.
Because her mama told her that's what you're supposed to be doing.
That's her
mama told her.
Oh, and she's an old whore. So how long has your mother been an old whore selling her body or doing whatever she had to do in the 1940s and 50s? You've been selling pussy since them people been under that swimming pool. What the fuck is going on with people's brain capacity when they get this job?
That's a goal.
What is wrong with people, bro, and their mindset of when they pick these jobs, bro, to think that was okay to tell this young lady that at the same, I don't give a fuck what she was, or I don't give a fuck if she was sneaking out or dipping or going from this place to that place she don't want to be. She fucked up, ma'am. And your advice is to go get fucked up some more. Some people are just evil, bro, and people don't want to accept this shit, and they do it with a smile on their face. You hear me? They say it in the most compassionate, softest way, where it seems like this is okay. And that's exactly what that evil bitch did. Apology.
It shouldn't have been. It shouldn't have been nothing to apologize for, because it shouldn't have never been
sick,
said.
child. It's sick, child, and it's telling me what her ass into at the same goddamn time.
Apology, why did CPS feel like they had to crack down on this lady and her children to see what's going on with them? Why just ain't? I'm not understanding.
Because of false allegations.
They gotta save face. Because they gotta save face. If that shit wasn't caught on camera, chop, they was gonna make that shit look like whatever the fuck they want to look like, and the media was gonna help them do it. That's
and what they're not saying is
motherfuckers
the little girl,
for the government.
The little girl was the one recording that shit.
The whole purpose of that is for the government to keep their shit under wraps or keep their shit tight, because you can't have nothing wrong with the government. So that's your mic.
Oh, my bad, y'all. I'm tripping. That's them boys.
No, I mean, just to keep it all in one little quick little pap. The government don't want this type of stuff to get out anyway, because you are supposed to be trusting in them with every fucking thing. Your family, your well-being, your social status, your politics. You see what I'm saying? This is the part of the control of your whole entire life when they come into play at. Even when you think it's a good thing, like even when they push the abortion thing, like Chop was saying, that's probably gonna come up, right? When you give up your child in this sense, what sense to even doing that when this is the formation that your child is being put into at birth? At fucking birth. They have pedophiles who love little 6 month, 1 month, a year old motherfuckers, as well as trying to get 14, 15, and 16-year-olds. So this is an ongoing pattern, fellas, and all of the motherfuckers need to be investigated by every situation that been transpiring since we've been talking about it. It's getting even crazier, y'all. And trust me, there's more to fucking come.
That's really all I had. That's all
So
I had. I didn't have anything else but this one story or whatever. I just feel like it's the most fucked up part about the whole situation is that y'all try to target the girl and go after her for doing, y'all try to do y'all job, and y'all should have already been doing y'all job, basically. Like, you see what I'm saying? Y'all try to catch up and make it seem like y'all be doing y'all job, but y'all don't, because that lady should have never fucking told that girl that shit. And her mama should have never told her that or whatever. So that's all I had, bro. I passed the mic.
well, alrighty. Let me wait, it's me or you, Silent?
It's you, cause Silent first next week.
Oh, all right. I got it. All right. So look, I got a couple of videos. They're not long, y'all. But it definitely will shed some more light into the wickedness of this system we call DCFS, aka CPS. So y'all go ahead and check this first video out. And I want y'all to just really keep in mind that these some wicked motherfuckers. So check this out. Now, this is the first one. Check this one out.
Assault, burglary, DWI, theft, domestic violence, indecent exposure, prostitution, possession of cocaine and marijuana, and selling alcohol to minors. What do all of these crimes have in common? They are just some of the crimes committed by people who work for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. That's right, the agency in charge of protecting Texas children. We found more than 370 employees have a criminal background. Some have direct contact with foster kids.
He was really uncomfortable to be around. He always wanted to be a little too close.
Here's one, yeah. Ashley Gallardo is talking about one of her former caseworkers. Romanus Ike was arrested and charged with indecent exposure after being caught performing a sex act on himself in a public park. He later pled guilty to a reduced charge of disorderly conduct. It was no secret that at the time of his arrest he worked for CPS. It's written on his bail bond. That was in 1998, and he's still on the job. Richard Landon was arrested for indecent exposure in 1997, and in 1994 he was arrested for prostitution after soliciting an undercover cop. He also works for the Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. Cordelia Jones is a CPS investigator. She's currently on probation for a drug possession charge out of Williamson County. This CPS investigator, Cynthia Creighton, has numerous criminal cases in her background. She still owes $193 in fines for driving with an invalid license. David Mendoza pled guilty to assault with bodily injury to a family member and violating a protective order. He's a CPS supervisor in El Paso.
It's unacceptable.
State Representative Pat Rose chairs the committee that oversees the agency.
I think there are several solutions. The first is to make sure we get all background checks from across all states and any convictions. We can do that by requiring an FBI fingerprint background check on the front end of employment. And then as we move forward, we have to have annual background checks here to make sure that all current employees who have direct access to kids don't have these convictions.
Ashley Gallardo agrees.
We trust these people. They're all we have in the end because we're just taken away from our families. That's all we have.
What y'all think, fellas?
And man, a lot of these people don't realize, bro, how deep this motherfucking shit go, bro. This shit go deep, bro. These people are not vetting these people, bro. They don't understand how this shit is really happening, and they look at certain cases like they need to be put in the bottom of the fucking law to the shit. But then in other cases like this, it goes this
They
far.
still,
So you see this imbalance in the whole system.
yeah.
It's fucked up, bro. These people are not doing their fucking job, bro. They're not even letting AI do the fucking job for them. People sitting
They say
around and
free.
picking and choosing. Some motherfuckers working for them that know these people and shit. Bro, I'm telling you, people who's on the
Damn.
streets with this trafficking and shit, they have people that work for CPS and the other organization. I keep forgetting the exact
DCFF.
DCFS. Thank you. They working for them, bro. That's getting them new clients, as I'm gonna put it like that. And it's just crazy. I'm gonna talk a little bit about it on my segment too. But yeah, Pete, it's definitely going on, brother.
Now, mind you, they say 370 employees got criminal background. Criminal, not civil, where it's like speeding tickets or parking tickets or something like that. They say straight up criminal. So that says a hell of a lot about, like you say, bro, the vetting system. Like you take any, and 9 times out of 10, a lot of these people get these jobs based on somebody they know working in the office. I'm the supervisor over this branch, and you say you need a job. I'm gonna tell you where to go put your app in at. I'm gonna pull your app. I'm gonna show you the ropes. I'm gonna teach you how this shit go, and all you gotta do is follow the lead. Cause
But you
I'm
know
gonna
where it get
take you
fucked
out
up
on
though?
calls with me.
That's cool though. But and I don't have no problem with people doing that. But you know what's the problem is, P? When you know your people is into sex trafficking and shit, then it becomes a problem though. So now you're
Right.
there on the job. Now you done got the job, but that's not even your real job. Your job is to actually get children for the motherfucker who's actually on the street looking for little girls and shit, little boys and shit. And you okay all the paperwork for them to get them. This is my thing, though. That's my whole thing with this shit. It's crazy work, bro. That y'all do not look at enough of what's going on with this whole situation, bro. And is my favorite word, fellas. It's total negligence.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not it. Wait till you hear this one. Hold on. And yeah, this the next one.
Person in your client's shoes couldn't understand you can't commit perjury in a court proceeding in order to take somebody's children away?
Of course not, Your Honor.
Of course.
Nah. Did you hear what he said?
Easy.
Wait till he get to the meat of it.
Not.
Then isn't the case over then?
And the case is over.
Because
Costanich is distinguishable in my view. How in the world? Costanich deals with a secondary care, foster care. That's a whole strange thing. It's not a person's real child.
even if Costanich
And guardian's the same thing.
Even if Costanich is distinguishable, there is, thus far, we have not been presented with any clearly established right that tells us that what our clients did, which is remove the children pursuant to a court order.
No, but what they're accused of doing and what the issue is here is committing perjury in a court to take away someone's children. And you just said that's obviously not okay to do.
According to our moral compass and our ethical guidelines, but what we're here to decide is the constitutionality of it, and we look to the courts.
Ain't she still?
You mean due process is somehow consistent with a government official introducing perjured testimony and false? How is that consistent? I mean, I hate to get pumped up about this, but I'm just staggered by the claim that people in the shoes of your clients would be on notice that you can't use perjury and false evidence to take away somebody's children. That to me is mind-boggling.
That bitch crazy.
In criminal proceedings, we know this to be true because that.
No, like criminal proceedings, this is it's court. It's a court proceeding with a liberty interest, a fundamental liberty interest at stake.
And on the reverse side, the state
And you're
also,
telling us that these officials who do this all the time couldn't be on notice that you can't commit perjury and put in false evidence.
I understand broadly
Survey
the
said
principle
it's a
that
goddamn lie.
Common sense tells us that lying is wrong, and lying to
Yeah, but it's more than common sense. We're not using common sense. We're using the statutes, for example, against this kind of behavior.
I was not presented. I have not been seen any federal law, case law, or law that tells me that in this situation that we were faced in, which is what we have
Well,
to
say
look
your clients hired 6 people to be actors and to go into court and say, we're neighbors and we saw all this terrible stuff. And then your clients presented those witnesses in court. You're telling me that they would have no reason to believe that you can't do that because there was no federal case that says you can't bring actors into court to swear falsely against somebody.
That's a good point.
Again, here we're appealing to sort of a broader
She won't answer that.
definition of what is a clearly established
She can't
right.
answer
You have
that.
to find the clearly established right
Of
in
course.
the context that our
She's a fucking
social
idiot.
workers were presented with, which was they were faced with a court order.
You know, again, I can't even believe for a microsecond that a case were
These people, like I was,
These are the
like I
people
was
who's
trying to let you
over
know,
shit.
like I was trying to tell Child earlier, that's how them bitches be doing in court. They will sit there and lie, take people who they know is lying, and bring that shit before court, perjure themselves, lie in open court and say, yeah, I saw it with my own 2 eyes. And then the DCFS worker like, yeah, you know, we have record of it. What record? How can you have record of something that the person that's coming to you don't have record of? You see what I'm saying? That goes back to that I have to face my accuser in court. Cause me personally, if you come in if you come in talking about you saw this or you saw that or this, that, and the other, I'm gonna ask you key questions about the situation that I know the fuck you ain't gonna be able to answer. Especially if I'm your lawyer and my client's telling me I've never seen these persons before. I don't know where they come from. They don't live in my neighborhood. You know, whatever. I'm gonna ask key questions that's not related to what the allegations is, but I'm gonna ask you key questions that's based on if you really know these people or not. You know what I'm saying? Because for you to come in there with that, you have to know these people. Other than that, nah, bruh. I'm talking about. I actually sat and listened to one of the so-called uh, what they said anonymous. I sat and listened to one of the so-called anonymous complaints before, and you could clearly hear this lady was making shit up, and they went with it. So when the shit went to court and the lawyer had to question that shit, they had no fucking answer for it, and the case had to get dismissed. How the fuck, like, how do we even get to this point where these workers, like, which again we talking about them being corrupted? How do y'all not even realize that a lot of the shit that you being told is false information? But you don't give a fuck, because guess what? Deep down inside, there's federal funding being pumped into your particular agency that keeps you getting paid. Otherwise, if there's no, you know, the more children that get removed, the more federal funding gets pumped into the agency to so-called provide for said children. And they that's the reason they be so gung-ho to try to take a nigga children, to keep that federal funding coming in, because with that federal funding comes the food stamps if the children supposedly need Social Security, they get Social Security for 'em, they get housing voucher for 'em and all that shit. No, none of that shit go to the parents though. The
And
ones
look,
that
the
need the help
agency wouldn't
taking care of
exist
the shit.
neither. The agency wouldn't exist
Exactly.
neither.
Exactly.
The ass wouldn't be there. Niggas stop
There
giving the
wouldn't be
taxpayer
no.
money and shut that shit down. Their ass would not be there. That's why they got to keep that shit going too, P. And the people, like you saying, who go
Exactly.
along with that shit, they get benefits for going along with they fuck shit. It's idiocracy,
Yep.
though. It's idiocracy, bro.
hmm
And they're making that shit to where it's available for people to have a fucking voice who are idiots. They try to explain themselves out of a fucking paper bag, dog.
And they can't.
Knowing goddamn well that shit don't make no sense. The man was what the word they be using? The man was flabbergasted. The man was trying to figure out how she keep trying to make this shit make sense.
How
Talking
she
about
keep trying to make it right?
but no,
She trying to make
she
the
tried to
shit
make it make
right.
sense because he questioned every fucking thing. She automatically thinks it's right, P. She has to go in front somebody now to explain this shit.
Yeah, and
She
those
couldn't
were
even
superior court
explain it
judges.
correctly. This is what I'm
That's
trying to
right.
tell you. This is what I'm trying to get you to understand. She's trying to make it seem like as if this is supposed to be something you can say and it's okay. And it's not just because you have an opinion about how the shit's supposed to go. Everybody's opinion does not have nothing to do with how laws and shit is regulated. And then the bitch gonna use common sense as if she was using common sense. Bitch, you're not even using common sense. What would give you the authority to even say that? That's why the man didn't even argue that point. He didn't even tell her, well, ma'am, you're not even making common sense. He told her, well, look, well, we ain't even talking about common sense. We talking about what the fuck is on the books, ma'am. So, it's idiocracy, though. It is. It's pure idiocracy.
What you got, Chop?
I'm at work. I ain't see the shit. I don't want to act like I seen it. I didn't. I'm working.
Okay. I guess I'll move. Are you gonna be able to watch this last one of mine?
Yeah, I sat back. I just sat back now.
Okay. I'm gonna play this last one. And this is what I mean when I say you have to know your rights. Check this one out.
Come to my home and harass me about my child.
This CPS and a deputy showed up demanding to see this man's daughter with no warrant, no cause. But the man shut them down, invoked his rights, and exposed their visit as pure harassment under the color of law.
Sir, this is the sheriff's office. Can you just come to the door and speak to you, please?
Do you have a warrant?
No, there's no warrant, but we'd like.
Well, this is harassment because I wouldn't like to speak to you. Can I understand the reason for your presence at my home?
We'd like to check on your daughter.
What makes you feel as though you are entitled to come to my home under color of law, armed to the teeth, ask to see my child? What gives you that right? I want to inform you that you are violating my constitutional rights by being here.
Mr. Thurston, are you saying that you will not bring your daughter to the door?
I'm saying you have no right to be on my property. You're coming here to harass me and my family because of a complaint of a person that has been known to harass and create false and fictitious charges and criminal mischief against and use and weaponize law enforcement. I mean, this is taxpayer dollar. This is government abuse by a CIA agent. She's going to be in trouble for this too. And so will all of.
Yeah, it didn't play the whole thing. I don't know why, but that's the bulk of it right there.
So basically, from watching that video, your standpoint is the CPS people breaking rules by or infringing upon your rights by checking on your children.
No, I think it's more of
it's
them,
more than that,
them
bro.
not doing their fucking job and basically going by whatever they want to go by to enforce laws that they know they shouldn't be enforcing. They got police and everything with them about something that has nothing to do with them even being there. It's like the man just said, whoever got y'all to come over here is obviously something else going on with probably the mother or something else that she has connections or somebody has connections where she could just call CPS to go to that fucking man's house and harass him about whatever she said is going on. So in that situation, if the man have all his evidence and he's showing this and showing that and giving it to them to show them that she's lying like a motherfucker, y'all still gonna show up with police and shit? I think that's the the whole thing. Them abusing their power of law. I think that's, if you could correct me if I'm wrong too, Peter, on any of that.
So one of the other, like, no, you got the gist of it. You got the bulk of it, right? But the main component is there's no even the only surefire way that you could actually call CPS and lodge a complaint is if you have actual physical evidence to support your accusation. You can't just call up there and say, hey, I believe this man is neglectful of his duties as a parent. That leaves speculation right there. Well, what kind of neglectful duties, ma'am, or sir, or whomever is calling, right? Think about it like that. What are they
That's even if
neglectful
they
in
ask.
doing?
Yeah.
Right, that's even if they ask. Because 90% of the time when they come, the first thing come out they fucking mouth is, we're
Somebody
here
called us. Yep.
because somebody called us citing abuse or neglect, right? It can't be both at the same time. You can't be abuseful and neglectful at the same fucking time. Because neglect means you're neglecting to address a problem. Abuseful means you're abusing the children. You see what
And
I'm
Chop,
saying?
guess what, Chop? Guess what this do though, Chop? To go to your point with some of this, it makes it hard for the children who are actually getting abused, dog. This type
To
of shit,
recognize the difference.
it actually makes it harder for the children and people who are actually doing fucked up shit
Fucked up shit.
to get
Yeah.
caught.
Because if they were doing their due diligence, like, okay, if you think this person is being neglectful or abusive toward a child, you could do a stakeout. You get paid plenty of government funding to do your job. You have to investigate. You can't just keep going to people's houses saying, hey, we want to see your child. No, the fuck? Why? What do you want to see? Right? Nah, they can't go to your doctor and say, hey, we want to pull this person's medical file because that's violation of the HIPAA law. That's a violation of your rights. So if you don't know your rights, you're going to keep letting them violate your rights by telling you, hey, you need to produce this child so we could examine this child. They're not a doctor. You see what I'm saying? And the only way that they keep getting away with it is because they show up with the police as that second layer of enforcement power to say you have to do what she say, and you quite truthfully do not. Even with the police there, they're only there as an escort to them. They are there in no official capacity whatsoever. So they could come there. They can't say a motherfucking thing. They can't do a motherfucking thing unless one of y'all decides to get violent, whether it be the worker or you. And at that point, like I be telling people, it's those workers' job to antagonize you to the point of losing your cool and getting into a shouting match or a physical confrontation with them so they could journal that and use the police as a witness. You see what I'm saying? Those body camera footage and stuff like that. All of that is now usable as evidence against you, showing that, oh, you just flashed out or you got aggravated and you got to the point where you was ready to fight. But the judge is also going to be looking at the fact of how they treated you as a person. Well, Your Honor, I would have lost my cool if, you see what I'm saying? I'm telling this lady she ain't got no right to be here, and she steady pounding on that my nerve. She steady working on my nerve. She steady saying this. She steady saying that. So yes, I lost my cool. I started a shouting match. No big issue. That's two adults. That had nothing to do with the child. You see what I'm saying? So it's all a matter of knowing that these people use some very jacked up tactics to get you to lose your cool so they can violate you. And if you know your right, they can't touch you. They can't tell you nothing. You don't have to let them see your child. If them motherfucker come to your house right now and say, let me see your son, the first question that's gonna come out your mouth and out your wife's mouth is why? Why do you want to see my child? What's this about? You see what I'm saying? And at that point, it's like, okay, what can they say to you after that? The same thing that they were trying to tell that man. They don't have a legal leg to stand on, and the judge don't just sign off on these papers because that puts them up at jeopardy now for signing off on shit without doing their due diligence. Nobody does due diligence at DCFS, bro. And that's why, like Simon said, it makes it hard for the children who are really being abused and neglected and messed over to get the help they need because of people doing stuff like this to honest, hardworking people. Everybody don't have a perfect household. Everybody don't live a perfect life. Nobody house is going to be perfectly clean, and you can't make that. You can't make that fit.
Well,
You see what I'm
I'm not
saying?
about to agree to people's house being dirty. We're not doing that.
No, listen. That's your perspective on it. You see what I'm saying? That's your perspective on it. You don't have to agree to it. That you completely within your right not to. But think about it for the people that just live like that. You see what I'm saying? They got
So they
people who
should just
actually
be
live
able to
like
be
that.
dirty. You should just let them be dirty, right?
Leave them be.
Okay.
Are the children fed? Yes. Do they have a roof over their head? Yes. You see what I'm saying? Are they being
No,
abused
I don't agree
physically?
with that one.
No. No. Are they being abused physically? No.
I
So
don't agree with that, P. I'm just saying.
hey, bro, I'm just saying. It's situations like that
Because like I
these
said
people go
earlier,
through DCFS with
sometimes
that bullshit,
the
and the
parents
judge
do
tell them
not
that.
know. The parents do not know that they being abusive to their children. They don't know that.
That's a fact.
So of course they
Yeah.
gonna feel like leave me alone, leave me
There's
be. They
nothing wrong with that.
eating, yeah,
Yeah.
this, they that.
Yep.
Yeah, of course. Of
That's
course.
still
But there's
neglect.
other shit.
It's still
There's other
neglect.
shit that they be needing too that could be neglectful too. Yeah, you feed them. I mean, that's
Exactly.
like the dogs, right? You feed them, make sure they got a roof over their head.
Right.
Right?
You ain't
So
got to get that nigga a bath neither. You could just
it's
feed
a
him and leave him
little
in the backyard.
more you gotta
It's a
do with
difference.
children,
He
like
right
you
though,
make
Pete,
it
with that.
nigga,
Yeah.
you making it a little like it's like you could do that little bit of shit and that's okay. Just leave people alone with their children.
Because
No, because when
just
they
by
go to
your
school, they
point of
go to
view,
No,
Pete,
school.
I'm not. But listen,
just by your
I'm
point
not.
of view, that could be evidence against you not being clean and shit. That could be evidence against you, brother. You brought it up. I'm just
Yeah,
saying
but
that could
I
actually
didn't.
be
I
evidence
wasn't
against you if
speaking.
somebody.
I wasn't speaking on the actual physical cleanliness. I was talking about as far as the
Oh, okay.
condition
Oh,
of the living arrangements. I
That's what
wasn't
I'm
talking
talking
you saying like
about
the
about.
house
body.
raggedy or
No,
something?
yeah, like yeah, nobody house gonna be fucking perfect like that. Where everything is in its place
What's
and all that.
considered proof?
They
What's
got people
considered
that do
perfect?
like that.
Well, that's up for debate though. But I get what you're saying though
I see what you're
on that
saying, but
situation
it's
because
like,
you know certain things they would get on your ass about it because all
but
those things
necessity
is in the
wise, you
factor
can't.
of
All
taking
right,
care
so
of a
look.
child.
Let's
All
say,
that's
and
in the factor. Yeah.
I'm not speaking on no one's personal situation. This is me just thinking about this shit in my head. Let's say somebody got 3 children, but they stay in a 1-bedroom house. They being fed, they taking baths and all that shit. Is it still not considered neglect? to have all them children in one room?
Can they afford more room?
You asking a question you're not answering.
You're not about to do that. You're not about to do that, child. You're not about to do that, child.
You asked a question with a question,
Nah.
brother.
You asking the question,
That's
you're not
not.
answering the question.
That's
Because
not.
guess what?
No.
My answer to that. All right, so
No.
listen. My answer to your
No,
question
that's
is
not.
my answer. All right, so my answer to your question is: if you know you can't afford them children, either give them up or don't have the children. That's my answer to that. If you can't provide them with sufficient rooms and sufficient space, don't have the children or give them up. You can't say, "Oh, I can't afford it." Don't have the children. You knew you had 3
I don't
children
think
for
I don't.
in one bedroom.
I'm not going to agree and say that that's the right thing to do. Because what if a person had the ability to afford it and fell on hard times and had to move into a 1 bedroom? Then what?
CPS gonna come
Then
knocking
what?
on your door because you got all them children in that room. They don't no one standing there with a tissue
Nah.
and a handkerchief to wipe tears off about shit you're going through. You gotta get through the shit. Nobody's standing
Okay,
there.
so is that a matter of time, or is that a matter of time, or is that I'm gonna let somebody put a constraint over my head that I know right now I can't fulfill?
Why you can't fulfill it?
What did I just say? If I before had the ability to do that,
No,
and
what you
I
telling me?
fall
All right,
on hard times and
what
can't
I
do
get,
any
all right,
better at
right.
that time,
So what I'm
I
thinking,
have no
what I
choice. You see what I'm saying? You have no choice but to step down, take a step down until you're able to get back up to that level of being able to go get a 4 bedroom or a 3 bedroom
all
house to
right,
where
so
you can
listen,
be able
all
to
right, that's true. All right,
that's
so
the
listen.
difference.
All right,
Okay,
so
so
listen.
why did
So if you
so
could
no
pay, so listen,
don't try
if
to
you
go no
could pay
further.
for it,
So
if you
why,
could
if
pay
that's the
for it,
case, hold
if you
on,
could pay
listen.
for it
So if that's
before,
the
right?
case,
Getting heated.
why would you lay up there and say give the children up if you know you can't afford them? If I could
Because
afford to
you
take
might
care of them
have them
before
if
I
you can't.
fall on hard time, then that's a different story, though, bro.
All right, so
You can't look at it like
to
that.
get them right. You're gonna get the assistance. You're gonna get the assistance to help them, right?
From whom? From whom?
So CPS
From
gonna let you
who?
be in a
The
CPS gonna
same
let you get
government that
behind.
coming to get your
Nigga.
ass.
Exactly, the
I'm
same
just,
people. That's what I'm saying.
let me
Like,
stay
what
out of
you
this.
talking about?
Look, that's
Let me stay out of this.
what you missing, though, child.
Trying to be a mediator, fellas.
These people, listen. This coming from personal experience. Fuck all the dumb shit. We called CPS because we needed help, and them
No, let's
bitches took
not go there. Let's
our
not go
children.
there, P.
Oh,
No,
Let's
listen,
just try to
no,
keep our point.
no. Listen, before we got to the point where we was at, right? My wife wound up calling CPS trying to get help with the children, trying to get help. Now this is before me, and this is before we got married. She called trying to get this through the system, and they did all kind of stupid shit, bro. That's why I'm able to tell you what I'm telling you, because I had to step in and started being a logical fucking voice to the shit. Like, y'all playing too many crackhead ass games. Somebody call you for help. That's what your organization or your agency is for. Is for to come in, help this parent get what they need, whether it be Section 8, food stamps, or whatever, to help be able to provide until they're able to do better. And you turn around and say, "Oh, you're being neglectful of your children," and take the people's children. That's
I
what
don't
all
think
that shit is about.
But
I
that's
see
their
what you're
job too,
saying.
though, P.
Yeah,
If you
that's what I'm
can't do
saying.
it,
Like, what I'm
that's a
saying
part of
is,
their job too, brother.
I know people with less children that get the assistance. So
From who?
it's either something. It's either y'all putting the paperwork in wrong or something. Something's going wrong in
No,
that.
listen. Also, you also got to think about it like this here. Child, with the amount of children I have in my household, you know how many children I have in my household. Do you think I have the funds to pay for the housing that I would be able to, that I would need in order to sufficiently take care of everybody in my house?
Currently, no, but I think you could get it. Yeah, I think you could
From
get
who?
it. You could go to
From who?
working. You could go to work and get it.
No. You said you know people with less children that get the assistance. Assistance from who?
They get assistance from the government. They get Section 8, food stamps, all that shit you talk about.
Okay, do you think they have housing in the size available for me and mine?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, now answer this. I jumped on in 2009 for Section 8. Still haven't heard from them bitches. And call every year. Call multiple times of the year, matter of fact, just to find out where I'm at in the list, and I'm still in the same spot.
The
And
reason why
listen, and it's under me. So
right,
the information that I give them is the information that they fucking got. So what's the problem?
It got to be something that you're doing on your end, because, like I said,
what
every time, no, but I know people that work too that get it. That's what I'm saying. So, like I said, whatever that void is that's in between that's stopping you from getting it, I understand. But like I said before, my point is, if you got 3 children in a 1-bedroom house, CPS can't come in that bitch and say this is not
They
suitable
cannot.
for these children. Yes, they can.
They cannot,
I'm
dude.
not saying it would be right. I'm not saying it would be this, that, and the third. If they find that shit out, they could come in there and they could use that as a reason to take your children.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
That's true.
And you know what the court is gonna tell them?
Do that, yes or no?
Look,
Question.
they could do that, but guess what the court is gonna tell them? You can't make these people afford nothing they can't afford. If they can't afford it, they can't afford it.
It all depends on the judge.
It all depends on the judge. I definitely.
How you gonna make me afford something that I cannot afford? How you gonna make me pay for something? It does not. No, that don't matter. Look, how many children you had?
They take your
How
side.
many children you had? No,
State your
hold all
they
that.
take your
How
side.
many children? How many children you have before you fall on hard times don't have nothing to do with your situation as of current. If you had them children before you fell on fucking hard times, then shit was going good, and then shit started going bad, and you ain't had no way to get that shit under check, then ain't no way you gonna tell me, hey, because you fell on hard times, we gotta take these children because you can't have them living in this 1-bedroom place. But they still being provided for. They still got a roof over their head. They still being able to be taken care of, bro. That's not something that the court is gonna fucking take your children behind.
That's your opinion. That's not the fact.
No,
that's your opinion.
okay.
That's your opinion. That's not a fact. That's just your opinion, my brother.
Dang. Great debate.
I don't know too
Great debate. It is. It's a good debate, man. It's a good debate.
That's all that really is, because at the end of the day, like I said, we have seen people be brought to social services and a child be taken away from for lesser shit. So that's why I'm saying, like, I hear what you say as a parent trying to protect.
I don't have a ring.
This, that, and the third, but no shit. The people don't want to hear that shit. Baby mamas get their children from their baby daddies all the time because they ain't got enough rooms, or they stand by their mama. They take your children away from you for shit like that and let them go stay with the mama. It depends on the judge, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I done seen all this shit happen before, but I do believe personally, if you can't take care of your children, don't have them motherfuckers. That's how I feel. Like, I ain't no ifs, ands, buts about it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because ain't nobody gonna do for your children like you gonna do for your children. Even if the government do give you a little something here and there, ain't nobody gonna rock out for them harder than their parents should rock out for them. It just is what it is. And people do fall on hard times, this, that, and the third. But during those hard times, we didn't watch movies and shit like that all the time. The Tyler Perry shit we just watched was the same thing. The girl fell on hard times and they took her fucking child.
Half retarded and everything.
Like, nah, nigga, like, I hear what you're saying, but I think it's coming more from a defense than you being actual about the situation.
Great points, fellas. P, that's all you had, brother?
That's all I had.
I gotta show you. I gotta show y'all this, bro. Because I'm glad y'all talked about this. Now, this is a situation that goes along with what y'all debating about. So we gonna go to Chicago with this one, fellas. Check this shit out.
Now, a CBS 2 exclusive investigation. She's only 16 years old and already a sex trafficking victim.
So what does DCFS do? We've learned they placed her with a 3-time convicted felon who's now accused of forcing her into prostitution.
CBS 2 investigator Dave Savini has been exposing state child welfare system failures for years. He joins us now. Dave, this is hard to believe.
It is almost unreal what happened to this foster child, but the fact is DCFS placed a child sexual assault victim into the care of a man who should have never been given a license to be a foster parent. A troubled 16-year-old girl was sent to this apartment building by DCFS. The state agency in charge of protecting her placed her in a foster parent's home here at the corner of 80th and Hermitage. But during our years-long investigation into DCFS, the CBS 2 investigators made an astounding discovery. The licensed foster parent who the state entrusted to care for that 16-year-old girl was a 24-year-old man with a lengthy felony criminal record. His name is Eric Johnson, and he's also an accused sex trafficker.
They license him as a foster parent. They license this 24-year-old pimp as a foster parent for a 16-year-old girl who had a history of being they were paying tax money to him as a foster parent while he was trafficking a 16-year-old girl in DCFS care.
For 3 years now, we've been investigating DCFS. We've uncovered a disturbing pattern by DCFS, bouncing children from home to home and not getting kids like this girl the proper specialized care. We discovered the teen's case this week when a judge heard evidence of how DCFS hired a psychologist nearly a year ago who told the Child Welfare Agency the girl needed to be in a secure residential treatment sex trafficking program.
So you're saying, on top of everything else, she had a history of being trafficked. That's right. And they put her in a home with a pimp. That's right.
We asked Cook County Public Guardian Charles Goldberg about the way DCFS handled her case.
She needed a secure residential placement that was highly structured and had an intensive program for victims of sex trafficking. And DCFS never did that. They bounced her around from hospital to shelter to foster home.
The court order we obtained says while she has waited to get the proper care and placement she needs, the teen has been trafficked, sexually assaulted, shot, lived on the streets. Ultimately, the agency made a pimp the child's foster parent.
Over this 1 year, this girl has been she's been trafficked, she's been abused,
check it out.
She's been beaten
They
up,
ain't safe with them either. They ain't safe with the parents or them, man.
In her leg.
We found Johnson has a lengthy criminal record. The teen was placed with him just months after he was released from federal prison after a 24-month sentence on a firearms charge. Before that, he spent 3 years
what they doing in them offices
for 2 robbery convictions. Despite all that, Johnson
y'all ain't know
passed
that?
placement clearance
did you?
and was approved by DCFS to become a foster parent.
How does a guy like that get licensed?
Yeah, it's impossible. It should be impossible. It shocks the conscience. It's
it can't be impossible, sir. It happened.
So a level of negligence is criminal.
Johnson's latest charges detailed in this court
There go my
record
favorite
say
word.
The juvenile victim was being advertised and prostituted on a known sex website.
Oh,
What does it say about the background
like
checking
Craigslist.
system at DCFS?
It says that they're not doing background checks. It says that it's broken. It says that it's dysfunction. It says that maybe we're at the point that we should just abolish DCFS altogether.
Goldberg says he's now exploring the possibility of filing a civil rights lawsuit on behalf of the child against DCFS.
Lawsuit.
We are digging into how all of this happened, and we will stay on it, Joan Marie.
This happened in the beginning of this year, fellas. So this is of this year. Give me something first, Chop, because we didn't really get too much of your point of view first on the last couple of segments. So give me something, and Peter, you could jump in there.
I must say that it's just this whole topic saddens me because it's
brother,
like
me too.
when parents ain't shit, they got this to go to. That's the problem. Like, so it's like the ain't shit parents might as well keep the children and let them be ain't shit, because y'all ain't helping them children become nothing either. She been shot, trafficked, like all this shit. Like, dog, and y'all wonder why people
just gave him to her. He's 20. What do you say? 24. The nigga 24 in charge of us.
Right.
They gave him the they gave him the rights
Yeah,
to a
but
16-year-old. Huh?
Man, come on,
The
son.
fuck is going on?
What they doing is they saying basically, and I think, and I just thought about it like this, right? think about somebody forced to have to do their job or do a job, right? Your parents didn't want you, or your parents didn't care about you enough to do what was right by you. Now you have to let somebody else be your parent, and them people really don't owe you nothing. Morally, they don't owe you nothing. See what I'm saying? They don't know you. They just, they doing a job at this point. And, sometimes they pick fucked up people to do the job. Sometimes they pick good people to do the job. I'm pretty sure they got a lot of good stories about CPS workers and them doing the right thing and somebody finding the right person through. We even watched the movies about the foster homes and all that shit. Like, all that shit fucked up.
Yes, sir.
All that shit
crazy,
fucked up.
huh?
So all these parents that feel like, oh, I could just give them the CPS and they're going to take care of them. No, bitch. That's a cop-out.
You're thinking wrong. Yep. Thank you, Chop.
That's
a great point.
Dog. That is a cop-out. Because they're not treating them right. They got to go through a whole bunch of shit that might fuck them up for life. They got a fucking
You might as well give them the B.O. Chop. You might well put them on the burning bull.
Man, that shit crazy, bro. Like I said, at the end of the day, it's even like that for the abortion shit. You know what I'm saying? I'd agree to nobody that, it go like that. Like you, if you don't like bees, you're not going fucking, if you don't like honey, you're not going to look for bees, bro. It just is what it is. If you know you can't take care of some children, or you're not ready to take care of some children, or taking care of the children is becoming too hard upon you or whatever, let the children go with somebody in the family. And I'm not saying that's way better. I'm saying that it's a possibility of you still being able to be in contact with your child and to see what's, I don't know, just giving them away, bringing them to the fire department, all that shit. No, man. Like, that shit just ain't right. But
this shit definitely a brain boggler, Chop. It is, dog. That's why I ain't
gonna
agree or disagree. I'm just gonna let you get your options on my opinion on that shit. Cause these people is so the fuck up.
And they be going on living their lives and shit. That's the crazy part.
Yeah, bro. What you got for me, Pete?
It goes back to the part we was talking about earlier, where the system is not doing what they're supposed to be doing with vetting.
Negligence.
They're highly negligent. They're quick to tell you as a parent, you negligent, but the whole system is negligent. I'm not saying abolish it like your boy did, but it definitely needs a major overhaul.
Make sure he point out
he was ready to throw that shit away. Happy he was ready to throw all
he said abolish. I ain't necessarily saying abolish it, because like Chop said, they do have good workers that
That's right.
that's there to do their job the way they're supposed to do their job. But the system still needs a major overhaul in its entirety, because we have too many people falling in the cracks. They getting in, and it's all one big messed up situation. And Texas had a major problem at one point with taking people children. You know what I'm saying? And now to hear that 370 of their workers in the agency have criminal background issues. You know what I'm saying? The system just needs to be overhauled. And as bad as it is needed, it's been long overdue. It's long overdue. A lot of these government agencies need to be overhauled and looked at because of the type of stuff that we're talking about on this show right now. And these people don't, it's not that they don't see it. They know what's going on. And the only reason I think they continually letting it happen is because somebody is profiting off of it. And it ain't because of it's the government funding and this and this. No. Somebody in the higher ups that oversees these agencies is profiting from it. And that's the thing that I think needs to be investigated on a whole nother level, because you wouldn't keep having situations like this where you have parents being just harassed to no end, where they gotta hire civil rights attorneys to come in and fight the case. You know, they gotta keep going to court. They losing their job because they gotta keep going to court and follow these programs and this and this and this. Like, the system needs an overhaul, man. And it's gotta start from the top and trickle down to the bottom. That's
I
the
agree
only
that
way this shit gonna
needs
work.
an overhaul, but I think that the system need an overhaul towards making the parents more accountable.
Or actually doing what the system is designed for, which is assisting the parents. That's what it's originally there for. If you go on there and read their guidelines, it tell you that's what they're there for. But if at the end of the day, if I can't call on you for assistance because I'm not able to do as much as I can do with what little bit I have, and I'm calling for assistance to get the extra that I need to make shit work, then what the fuck? I'm not gonna reach out to you because I know what you're trying to do. It's been shown time in and time out.
And that's
You see
fine.
what I'm
But see,
saying?
at that point, where does the parent say, I'm going to just get the money or get whatever needs to be gotten that they're not given?
Not everybody has that ability, though, child.
Oh, listen to what I'm saying. Let's say CPS doesn't exist. Let's say with all this shit that's going on right now, let's say they shut that shit down because it's corrupt. They're not right. They're not helping the parents, right?
Uh-huh.
All right. So they shut it down. So now what the parents gonna do and say about getting the assistance they need if it's not there?
What do you do then? Right.
So
you still got all them kids.
If there are several options that I see. And like you said, child, you could
Whatever
leave
them
them.
options is, you had them options before.
Hold on.
You're not answering fast enough. You dwelling.
Well, you don't interrupt. There's two options. And the first option, get a second job. But that would mean that you got to leave your children with, like you say, family, right?
No, that don't mean you got to leave them with family.
Well, who gonna watch the children? Think about the single parent.
The oldest you could be at home by yourself is 7.
And how many times have we seen that work out well with DCFS?
Depends on how you. We don't have that no more. We can't say that that's not gonna happen because they're not there. So what you gonna do with them not there is the question.
Hello? Y'all still there?
I'm here.
Oh, whatever.
His mic
got blanked out for a minute.
I'm trying to let him respond.
Yeah, my bad. My screen turned off. So you definitely can't say that you're gonna be able to trust that 7-year-old. Like you said, the oldest you can leave them at home now is 7. Okay. Can you trust the 7-year-old to do what they're supposed to do without fucking something up or hurting themselves or burning down the house?
In my house? We asking in my house?
Not your house.
Oh yeah,
but that's not the case. That's not necessarily the case for every parent, right?
Exactly. That's not the case for every parent. So what you saying is
so what I'm saying is you gotta put them children with a family member while you working these 2 jobs trying to make shit better. So you can afford a better place. So you see what I'm saying? That's your first. Second option right there. First option, get a second job. Second option, gotta leave them with family members so that I can work these 2 jobs. Right now, I still gotta be able to divide my time with the two job between doing shit that needs to be done as far as if they cutting up in school, got to take off work from school, which means what? I'm gonna be short on one paycheck or the other, which means I'm gonna be in a financial bind.
Brother.
Like you say,
Let me
it's,
all right.
it's all kinds of options. It's all kinds of
All right.
options, but it's all
Okay.
kind of other hangups that come
That
along
was
with
all
that shit
three.
too.
That was all three of them. That was all three of them. That was all three of the points you was trying to make.
No.
Well, go ahead, finish. I want you
But
to get all your.
I'm gonna go ahead and end it off there for time's sake.
What I'm saying is this: if you know you can't have the children, don't fuck or use rubbers. If you know you can't take care of them, or don't have them, because a lot of motherfuckers had options to abort and they didn't. So after you made all those decisions, you can't cry wolf after that and say, oh, well, fuck, since I made a decision to take care of my children or have these children, somebody gotta fucking help me with them.
Oh, that's a good point.
You can't say that. You cannot fucking say that. I see what you're saying.
How you look at it, yeah.
So listen. So now to that point. I got a question.
We're not doing none of that. I don't want to hear your question because I'm talking.
Go ahead.
Like I said,
Go ahead. Talk.
At the end of the day, don't fuck and don't have them children if you can't take care of them. Because if CPS not there and your family not there, or you a bitch, or your wife's a bitch, and the family don't like the family, and or whatever, and you ain't got nobody to watch them, you knew all that shit when you had them fucking children. You knew that. You knew nobody wasn't gonna come help you and all this other shit. You had an option to abort. You didn't. You had the children. That was your fucking choice. Ain't nobody gotta take the fucking consequences of nobody else's choices at all, period. So with that being said, don't have the children if you can't take care of them. Because people out here doing it with less than more. I'm just saying, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. This nigga just won't be freaky. That's what I'm saying. Just fucking.
What you say,
have children, and you not gonna take care of these little motherfuckers? No, nigga, you got 3 children. You need to at least be fucking on a career job somewhere. Let alone having 2 of them motherfuckers. And we've been in our houses fucking young. We've been doing that shit. That's why the laws say that your children could be in there at 7. The laws say that.
Ron said you got to be freaky and grown, nigga, not just freaky.
Of babies. You hear me? Long as they're not taking care of babies, a 7-year-old can be in the house by themselves. But like I said, at the end of the day, I don't know what Peter I got to see. That was my point or whatever. Because I heard.
Well, I have one more video, but if you want to rebuttal that, P, you can right quick. I'm gonna play my last video because this is a good debate, fellas. What you say, P? If you have something on there, or you want me to just move on?
Nah, go ahead and move on.
Okay, because I have another one that might fuck y'all head up too. This one wasn't in Chicago, but it's on that shit Stussy said. Now what if you a freak ass nigga and you work for a place that lets you outright get your freakiness out? Let's see what I'm talking about. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. Here we go.
A member of the LA County Department of Children and Family Services is in trouble tonight after a startling tip that led detectives to his front door.
CBS 2's Lisa Siegel is live tonight in Koreatown with a case against Carlos Castillo. Lisa.
Well, Carlos Castillo has actually worked here for LA County DCFS for close to 30 years. Now he is under arrest, charged with possessing materials depicting children being sexually abused. The LAPD says 54-year-old Carlos Castillo, a longtime employee with the Los Angeles County Department of Children and Family Services, has been arrested for possession of images and videos depicting sexual abuse of children. DCFS confirms his current position is Assistant Regional Administrator, but in a newsletter from 2 years ago, we found him listed as an adoption manager. Now the investigation into Castillo began after information was received from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. A search warrant was
These
served
children
yesterday
is
at this
not
apartment building
safe,
where
man.
Castillo lives, and he was arrested. We tried to call and went to his apartment. No answer. Frederick Fournier has lived in the building 2 years and knows Castillo.
Yeah, very nice, very friendly, and
friendly.
that's my view of him.
Many neighbors who didn't want to be on camera told us the same thing and described Castillo as part of the community, helping with the building's garden. Fournier says the arrest is disturbing.
I'm very shocked.
DCFS released this statement. Our mission at the Department of Children and Family Services is to keep kids safe. We recently learned of the arrest of one of our employees for alleged disturbing activity that goes against our mission. We stand ready to assist our partners in law enforcement in their investigation. Castillo's case is being handled by LAPD's Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. All right, Castillo is now out on bail. DCFS tells me he's been put on unpaid leave pending the outcome of this investigation.
I've had a couple parents.
One of the greatest examples. Bill Cosby ain't make no fucking excuses.
The dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Which one?
Woo, fellas, I know y'all got some for me. What the fuck is going on?
Them children is not safe. That's all I can say, son. You can't even send them to the place that's supposed to protect them. Like, what the fuck?
He's good in the community, and he helps everybody. He's a nice guy. What are you supposed to have? Pedophile written across his forehead and a tattoo? You see the thought process of people, though, son, when it comes down to this shit?
Son, do you know what
people believe that because it's a government
this is what I'm
agency.
saying, bro. I'm telling y'all, bro. This is anything we don't care about.
Negligence.
They put something in place of it and make you take that route, right? They make parents feel okay with not taking care of their children. Oh, you can send them to CPS. Or children live their own path. Or children, this, that,
or abortions. Hey, come get it.
They stop you from fishing and hunting. They put the shit in the stove. They stop you from growing your fruits and vegetables. They put that shit in the stove.
Convenience. Convenience.
And niggas don't see it like that. What niggas do is, it's easy like that? Well, let me grab this new shiny toy. No, bitch, that's the trick. The trick is to get you lazy to keep you from doing that shit. That's the trick, to keep you from doing it yourself.
Boy, I wish I had
what do you do when you go, as you get older, you go back to the old, right? You go back to the beginning, right? All the older people you know, if y'all know older people, them people growing fruits and vegetables and shit. Same shit they didn't do in their 20s, they 30s, they 40s.
Even these old medical remedies, chap. They going back into action their grandmas and shit.
Everything
on TikTok.
go back to
what
the
y'all
beginning.
used to use for a cold.
Dog, and I ain't got nothing else to say after this. If we stop looking at shit to lean on and just stand the fuck up, we gonna be all right.
On all 10.
Which is all right.
That
I agree.
Because this man was a regional. This nigga was regional, Pete. He had the whole West Side on lock, nigga. This nigga got pictures for days of churn. He look at churn all day, slavering and shit over the pictures. Oh yeah, you want this one? Okay, yeah, no, we're gonna give you this one. I like him. This the type of shit he was on in there. They got him cold. They got his phone records and everything, my nigga. Pictures. The nigga worked for him. He's regional. He's
like I said, bro. If you start working your way down from the top, you'll find out where all your fuck shit coming from. Because I'm quite sure under his administration as regional director, a lot of complaints probably came in, and they probably got swept under the rug by him.
But everybody say he's a good guy.
You can't sweep shit under the rug unless you could go that high and someone
his power.
up that
There you
high
go.
is saying,
His power.
do this
Yep.
shit. You see
His
what I'm
power
saying?
precedes that.
That's
Pete.
why I
Yeah,
say
his power precedes that.
the fucking existence of it is to keep you lazy. That's why that shit is there. Parents ain't gotta
You would
worry
have to
about
have
this.
a whole protest out that motherfucker on that nigga, and you would have to
Just
have
saying.
a big group of people for them to even believe. If one person come forth and say that dude was doing something to their child, they wouldn't fucking believe him
Nobody would
because
believe
he's the region. Yes, sir. His power
him
is a
being but
motherfucker, dog.
that's why I say if you start at the top and start investigating the motherfuckers at the top and work your way
No, I didn't
down,
disagree with you on that. Yeah,
oh,
you're right. You're right.
you definitely gonna find that fuck shit. Cause ain't no that, but
That's
that's
why I
why I say
presented this.
when the
This
yeah,
not the
cause that
tippy top, but this is a part of that top, though, because he was
right.
regional.
When you go to and look, think about it like this here too. If he's the regional director, right, over a specific part of California, who's the person over here? And then you go to
No,
that
you're right.
person and start investigating them. Like
Oh no, 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 no.
like you don't
You got to
already
get
call
evidence
to
on
the
them.
director.
When
The
you
evidence not on
regional,
him. That's why it's so hard to do that.
when you regional, you over the whole fucking area, that whole
Mm-hmm.
region. So for somebody
Right.
to be over him, that person would have to be over the state, and it depends on if that state is in too. So regional might be the highest. Regional might be the highest. I don't know.
Old Cali, nigga. Cali? You know they tearing Cali up right now too. And this happened I'm gonna say about 3 years ago, fellas. This is it's not old, but it's not new neither, but it's still in that frame of where investigations need to be happening. Definitely. But that's all
He
I
might
had
not be.
for
I
my
don't think
segment,
he gonna
fellas.
be overstate, but if he over the region, that's a specific area. Like that might be like 2 or 3 counties in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? Like Los Angeles, San Bernardino, and Berkeley. He might be over them little 3 areas. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know a
Right.
regional person to be over an entire state. He's
Okay,
just
P, I
over a
was wrong
specific
about that.
section.
Okay. You don't have to dig into how wrong I was about that. I mean,
No,
it's
no, no, no,
bigger than
no,
me,
no,
right?
no. I was just looking at the
I was
fact
wrong.
that
It's not the whole
the,
state,
the
but region is a big market too, right? That's big
right, it's
enough,
a
don't
big
you think?
market.
Well, speak on that. God damn.
I'm looking at, but that's what I'm saying. Like he might just be over like 3 particular counties in the Los Angeles area. You know what I'm saying?
And the
I don't know
all right, and what's the point
how
of saying
big
that? That's
his
what I'm
Right,
region
saying.
yeah,
was,
but
but I'm
I'm
just
saying,
saying he
I'm saying
definitely
he might be the person that's over all that shit because you know what I'm saying. His boss might be somebody in Los Angeles or something, and he might be over 3 regions of Los Angeles or something, or you know, but it might not be the state. Whatever it is, that nigga, he the top of the food chain. But that's like, all right, in layman's terms, let's think about it like this,
In
right?
that region, yeah.
Let's think about a Wendy's, right? We got a store man, we
Right.
got an hourly manager,
Hey,
we got
right,
a
right.
store
General
manager
manager.
who is actually the store
Mm-hmm.
manager. We got general manager, then we got regional
man.
over the
Mm-hmm.
region. That motherfucker might have 5 or 6 Wendy's, you know what I'm saying? But who the fuck
Right,
going over
right.
regional? Not a motherfucking soul. That person would have to talk to the owner of the company. See what I'm saying? But
Right.
that's just to break it down in layman's terms.
Now it's deep, fellas. You know, just to put that in the specifics. You know what I'm saying? But even in those specifics, right, fellas, this situation is an ongoing situation that needs to be addressed, dog. And I don't think
Yeah,
people are
bro.
taking it
Yes.
serious enough.
They not. They not, son. They not because they feel like I said, they have children. I mean, people that say that nowadays, oh, well, I can have my baby and just give them to a foster family or this, that, and the third. Like foster families ain't like they used to be, bro. Like I'm gonna just keep it real. Like I
Sure.
have foster uncles and shit, people that's not blood that my grandmother took in. You know, so I
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
know what it is to have a good household and be around good people that do good shit. And people probably,
Same here.
you know what I'm saying? So I know that part of it too. But it's like, man, that shit dead because these older people are done with the younger generation, bro. They not fussing and fighting with you niggas to try to get y'all to do right no more. They letting y'all crash the fuck out. That's what they doing. They letting y'all crash out because they could
So they
intervene.
could take your children.
They
Sex
could say
trafficking.
something.
Yep.
Yeah. But you ain't gonna do shit. They teaching all their children to be fucking CPS agents and shit because they know motherfuckers gonna keep on doing that same thing.
And another thing I want to mention too, while I be bringing this up, I saw another one. I might save it for Sunday. Just to bring it back up, there are investigations of this going on with not only children who's in the States, but children who are also migrants who are coming over. Hundreds of children are going missing, fellas, and they
Damn.
telling the parents they don't know where the fuck these children at. And these
Come
children are
on,
being
man.
sex trafficked in these areas that we had talked about before on Blunt Talk when they shut down a couple of those Mexican bars and shit in those areas, fellas. A lot of those children and shit that were missing were found in these places. So this is definitely a marker that the government is acting like ain't fucking happening, and they need to be checked on this shit because they are the ones overseeing
They
this shit when it
enabling that
comes
shit.
down to all this shit. Yes, sir. And it's and people are going this far to say this, child. The government is a part of it.
I'm
People are
definitely.
saying, bruh, they got whistleblowers. Whistleblowers that worked for DCFS and everything was saying how these people are doing shit. The lady said, I had to fucking quit and tell my fucking story about this shit. And they tried to bash her and do all type of shit on her name. So I'm telling y'all, fellas, we right on the market with this shit, bro. And this definitely not gonna be the last time we talk about this because more stories is gonna definitely come up, especially with my
Definitely.
nigga from Polk County. My nigga
Trying
from
to
Polk
tell you,
County, I'll be
son.
playing with that shit.
Telling
So
you.
don't be surprised some more shit coming up, though. And that's all I had though, chap.
Yeah,
Great
that's
segment
all.
though, brother.
That's all I was. I just wanted to bring awareness to it, brother, to try to wake some people up or whatever. But yeah, bro. For you people who out there that just think I can have my baby and let the government take care of them, no, my brother, you ain't doing nothing but adding another number to the number of children that's gonna have a disorder or something. You know what I'm saying? Parents, dog, that was my point I was gonna make. And this the realest shit, this one of the other realest things I'm gonna say today. The dude we heard, the pedophile, the white dude with the mullet or whatever he had, like with the little hairstyle. We heard that nigga when he said he target families that don't have fathers there. He didn't say
that's true.
we don't target. I mean, we target families that have strong black mothers. That's what he want. He wanted to be a strong black woman there. You see what I'm saying? That's what he want, or a strong woman
Yeah.
there versus a man or whatever. The family unit. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no way.
Right.
Like if the family unit was so, if the family unit was together like it should be, the help
it ain't popping.
the help would be in your house. Because when you shot, the woman that's in there, what you come up with the other half. If you can't. If you gotta go to work and work most of the times to make most of the money, you go make the money while the woman stay her ass home and watch the children. Now if she can make more money than you, then you sit your bitch ass
home
down
and make
and make muffins, my nigga.
Scramble them fucking eggs, nigga.
If she can make more money than you, it's a business deal for your children.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, y'all.
For your children. I'm gonna take this so my children can have that, and you know what I'm saying? Like, and it don't come out your household. It's in your household. The people that who they came out is the ones that made it. So nobody else can put they shit in on you or say, oh, you gotta help, or you gotta do this, or you gotta no, bitch. We did this in here together for our own children. That's what they seen. So when your children grow up, they're not gonna say, "Oh well, I could get on this like like my parents did. Oh no, they're gonna say if I stick with my brother or stick with this person, we could build this together. Versus, you know what I'm saying? Because they have us thinking that you could do it alone. That's the main thing. Everybody want this
That's how they.
alone shit. You know what I'm saying? Do it by yourself. Raise 10 children by yourself. Man, get the fuck out of here.
So,
You
Chad,
can't.
let me get this right. So you saying? So, Chad, let me get this right. So you saying you have to be the HNIC?
I don't have to go to Harvard to know what you're doing. You know what I'm trying to say to you, man? Do you? Yes, you do. But then shut the fuck up. You don't tell me how people react to me. I know what people are doing no matter what they say. Because I read minds, you dig? I don't take no shit off of you. You're lying through your fucking teeth. I know it, you know it, and this fucking hoe know it.
Come on, leave him alone.
Yeah? Yeah?
Sweet
That's how you gotta do DCF in there. That's how you gotta do it. Be that.
I'm trying to tell you.
You gotta slap them mentally. You know what I mean? That shit crazy. You gotta let them know I run this shit. And there one of you motherfuckers go. I'm just saying, brother. I'm just saying. I great point tonight too, fellas. Great points tonight, fellas.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna kind of be more of a conversation than anything or whatever. Pete, that you got to stop bringing your personal stuff in the stuff. You got to stop doing that.
Brother,
You got to stop doing that, bro. You got to stop. I've tried to go away from that, and you still went there.
It's not about you.
Yeah, it's just about the information and the shit getting out there or whatever.
Okay.
No one knows your situation.
Somebody got it worse, nigga.
Shit, somebody definitely got it worse, my brother. Believe me. But
can I play some music while you take us on now, chat?
Yeah, one of y'all gonna have to press a button because I put everything up and I switched to the phone,
to the mobile.
I got it.
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, they got a picture on here.
Let's talk Nola.
Hey, man. Well, this was a very, very interactive show. I like the interaction.
We love you, Peter. We love you, Chuck.
A good show, man. Yeah, I was missing the comments. No one was in the comments today. I guess y'all gonna go back and Sister Kane, that was up.
Yeah, Sister said let's
Yeah, bro, it was a good show, bro. I just want people to just think of like the bomb shelter, right? And it's crazy that it's a point, and then that's all I'm gonna say. Those parents were that ready to protect their children that they was able to preserve their name and their children for 6 fucking generations by themselves. Crazy shit.
With no DCFS?
With no DCFS? Nothing. No, nobody. It was
food stamp.
They have none of that shit. They was on preserved food from 75 years ago. Fuck out of here.
Right? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm done. I'm top tracks, you heard? I can't press the button. One of them gonna press it. Yeah. One of them gonna press it, man.
I do gotta say that the cracking down and catching the pedophile, that was a very good thing. I do hope that they do form an alliance with the government to make that shit possible and effective to where they can, get these guys off the streets, offline, and out of our children's face. You know what I'm saying? To the point of the underground bunker, man, it's going to, as long as them people been down there, that's how long it's probably going to take to heal them people from the decades of being underground and not being in communication with other people on the outside. Like, they got a lot that they got to go back and go through and relearn. And, man, the healing process for that is just, it's uncountable. You can't even count the amount of time it's going to take. Silent, Which yours was? Yeah.
Update on old boy.
Yeah, boy. Bro, I can't wait to see what new stuff they come out with, bro, because like they say, they had a manifesto and all that there, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they actually come to find out that this man or lady probably really did, have a little something to do. She probably was the escape route. You know what I'm saying? They caught her with guns and money moving about. So, I wouldn't be a bit surprised, but I can't wait for the next update with that one, man, because that boy there, he probably had some inside information that probably led him to want to have to go do that too, or being on orders from somebody to go do it. So, yeah, I look forward to all that.
Oh yeah, that's what's up, though. I'm definitely gonna keep you updated on that shit because yeah, I'm definitely into that type of shit. And especially with these PDF files, y'all already know I be on their motherfucking neck. And it just so happened that I found that looking for something within the situation, and it just so happened, fellas, it matched like a motherfucking puzzle piece. And y'all know I love puzzles. And this is how it all transpired. So looking at from your segment, P, from Chop's other news and your other news, I'm gonna just bring it back up. Idiocracy, though. They're trying to make idiocracy a way of living. Like it is something, there you go, something normal, as if this is something that we should entertain, or this is something that we should let be heard. No, when you're wrong, you're wrong. When you're right, you're right. They're making this gray area bigger and bigger. And the longest we do that and not stand up, like Chop was saying earlier, 10 toes down, the government is going to help up for their people knowing they're negligent. And this is where we have to take our own self up on our own shit and say, fuck y'all sometimes, government, and let me handle this, or let us handle this, or let us do this together. Let's combine our forces a little more like motherfucking Captain Planet and them, and get this shit popping, because a lot of times people are afraid to let others know what's going on with their situation because of it might be less or it might be more than the others have. And I think that type of mentality and that type of thought process keeps us separated. And this is how they win. It worked with racism, with white supremacy, and it's working now when it comes to LGBT and child protective services and and more things that we see and been coming to the light. So as long as we believe that a woman could marry a damn merry-go-round, this is the type of shit that is going to come to pass. And we go along with this crazy bitch and say, oh, okay, that's normal. This is the shit we talking about, and we definitely gonna stay on their motherfucking neck. Blunt Talk Nola. Take us out, Chop Track.
Yeah, man. Well, this was definitely an exciting episode or whatever. We heading out on y'all. We gonna see y'all Sunday. We gonna probably retract some of this stuff and talk about some other shit. But yeah, man. Everybody remember that, bros. 10 toes down.
Oh, one more thing, Chop. One more thing, Chop. Fat Joe just got the lawsuit, huh?
For what, against Diddy or something?
No, he got a $20 million lawsuit. His hype man say he was messing with little girls. Uh-oh.
Damn.
Oh, shit. We'll talk about it Sunday.
All of them was nasty fuckers. Just get rich and get nasty.
13 and good. 13 and good, I tell.
All right, then. One of y'all press the fucking button, man. Press the fucking button, man.
Here we go, y'all. Solid Child 17. Go and set.
P dot on the spot.
Top tracks in the building, man.
And we out.
Fat Joe's fucking with them little girls. That's crazy.
Ooh,
big fat ass.
Lean back.